Here we are with legendary fight caller Al Bernstein. Welcome back to Belfast.
I'm so happy to be here. It's my second visit, and I really enjoyed it the last time, and I'm very happy I could come back.
Yeah. What did you think of Tyson Fury in the first fight against mediocre opposition? How did he? You know, and he was in trouble for a little while, but he came back and won the fight.
Against Further, was it?
Yeah.
You know, the thing about Further is he's a deceptive kind of opponent, because Further's one of those fighters who could easily be a really, really, really good heavyweight.
Yeah.
He went 10 rounds with Povetkin, and I think in that fight, Further's length, being tall, really hurt Tyson Fury a little bit. That was an issue. And I'm not sure he was physically as ready for that fight as he is for this one, or as he has been for some others.
Well, the two of them looked very ready today.
Yes.
On the scales,
yeah.
Both looked in pretty good condition.
Yes.
Especially as Rogan has been out of the ring, apart from two journeymen which he fought, he's been out of the ring for a couple of years.
Yep.
Do you think that that long period of inactivity will play on Fury, for Rogan, especially at his age?
Yeah, Rogan, you know, when I chatted with him afterwards, he said that he didn't feel it was going to be the case. Of course, you know, he would probably feel that way, but it's been over a year, and, you know, he's fought sporadically, generally, in his career, started late, so he, you know, I think that it's an issue for him a little bit. It would be a bigger issue if it was important to Tyson Fury to get him out of there early.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is. I think Tyson Fury wants this fight to go a few rounds. He wants, you know, he's got a new trainer. His Uncle Peter's training him. He feels like he's fit. He wants rounds. Yeah. So it's good for Rogan in a way, because Fury's not going to be going after him in the early rounds, I don't think, to try and get him out. And that, I think, is what helps Rogan a little bit, because he can settle into this fight if there's ring rust.
Yeah. And just talk about yourself first, well, finally. What's the first fight you remember calling?
I can remember it vividly. It was in 1980. The first fight I ever called for ESPN was a fighter named David Bradley and Jamie Olatunde. It was a light heavyweight match, and it was the first time I had called a fight on national TV, and it was exciting.
And next question is, which is your personal favorite? Which is the best fight you've ever?
Probably the best one, and it's hard because I've done like 8 zillion fights.
Yeah.
But I think there's one that and in fact I have a book coming out in the next 2 months, and finally I say it, which I haven't actually before. It is Diego Corrales and Jose Luis Castillo back in 2005,
Fantastic.
lightweight championship fight.
Yeah.
Probably the best one that I've ever called.
What's generally in people's top 10 fights they've ever seen, never mind ones they've called.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, that's right. It would probably be in the top 5 or 6 anyway, or 10.
Yeah.
And the second one is did the Hagler-Hearns fight, Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
And that, of course, was great. And, you know, the Corrales-Castillo was like Hearns-Hagler times 3.
Yeah.
Because it was 9.5 rounds.
Yeah.
So, pretty extraordinary.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say about that Hearns-Hagler, it was really the first round was the war,
right. And
the other rounds was kind of.
Well, they were still good, but the first round was arguably the best round in middleweight history.
Yeah.
And Marvin Hagler said to me on many occasions, you know, that right hand that Tommy Hearns hit me with was one of the hardest punches right in the first 15, 20 seconds of the fight. And had Tommy Hearns been able to box the way he did against Sugar Ray Leonard, I don't think his legs were under him in that fight. Had he been able to box the way he did against Leonard, he might have won that fight, because Hagler was cut very badly.
Right, okay, yeah. And final question, which fight have you not called that you wish you called?
Oh, you know, probably in the time I've been in boxing, if you ask me what would I have liked to call, I would have liked to call the trilogy of fights between Barrera and Eric Morales.
Yes.
Those would be 3 fights that I wish I could have called. They were 3 of the greatest fights that I've ever seen.
All right. Listen, thanks very much for talking to us, and thanks for sharing that as well.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Thank you very much.